You mentioned that 6 month mark, which I like, having that definitive number to shoot for. What are some really tangible things that gym owners can do to get people there? Because, we talk about kind of the first 90 days is such an influential time. But I
Mhm.
like extending that out to really the first 6 months. And besides just, having a really great class experience, what are some things that gym owners can do, or maybe just, one-off examples that you've seen with gym owners you've worked with that have implemented stuff that seems to be doing really well for keeping people through that 6 month mark so they have the ability to become a raving fan.
Well, it's a combination of a variety of phases, I think, that creates the overall effect, right? So it's not going to be just a couple of quick tactics, although there are
Mm-hmm.
going to be some that are going to give you a lot of bang for your buck. But long story short, it starts all from the very beginning, that very first touch point, and how you're communicating the perceived value, the messaging of what the offer is, and the sales process, and making sure that that reflects the quality of your service and what your, the value you're going to put on this thing. Hey, this a program that will likely change your life forever if I do my job right. We're not just selling gym memberships here. Our mission is to help people radically change their perspective around training, around nutrition, around what they're capable of. And we have an opportunity to make a massive impact on someone's life. And oftentimes that acquisition process is really just around the quick acquisition and not considering, hey, look, you're selling a Porsche, but you're just going for like discount Hyundai, like, sales process.
Right.
I use this analogy often, but it's like, are you going to go to a Hyundai dealership and pay, $120,000 for a new Hyundai with the type of environment, sales experience, offers? They're completely different, right? Those match the product, right? When you go to a Hyundai dealership and you have the guy coming out and he's, still chewing on his snack and he's like, "Hey, how can I help you?" Is very different than when you walk on to, say, like a Porsche dealership and you've got someone who's well spoken, not eating when they're talking to you, and just how they approach you. And, hey, can I interest you in an espresso or a champagne or something? Have you checked out the new turbo? And it's just a very different experience. And I think that there's a disconnect in people and how they look at sales and the acquisition phase versus the onboarding and integration. And really, it's the beginning of the onboarding and integration during sales. So just making sure that your process reflects the quality of what you're going to be offering so that you can have the kind of ask price wise, and that you can, command the kind of perceived value around your programs and your knowledge and what you have to bring to the table, and everything that follows. So that's the first step, is taking a look at that. And then the next piece is then looking at what your onboarding program looks like, and making sure, again, that that also reflects, what you're offering, the impact you're trying to make, that you're educating them accordingly. An onboarding or on-ramp program, or fundamentals, whatever you want to call it, I think a lot of people still look at that as, oh, this is the part where I just teach them the movements. I think that's probably secondary or tertiary to the concept of, I'm going to help you get set up for success, right? Movement is just a small part of that. I think it's far more about building the relationship and building context around the conversations we're going to be having around nutrition, and the types of things that we do here, and things you can do to be successful, and habits and routines and mindset that are going to ultimately make them far more successful than, teaching them how to do a clean and jerk on the third day that they're there, right? So designing a program that again balances the perceived value and, that education, between, knowledge and movement. And then once you have that piece done, I think a lot of gym owners stop there and think, okay, cool, I did my onboarding program, we're all set, the program will take care of the rest. And oftentimes, these could only be maybe 3 sessions, 5 sessions, 10 sessions, and then they're off on their own. So we put a protocol in place so once someone finishes onboarding to that 6 month mark, where, simple things like check-ins and seeing, checking their attendance. Hey, how did last month go? And giving them a call every month and saying, hey, I reviewed your attendance. Awesome job. Our goal was to have you in here 4 days a week. Keep up the good work. Or, hey, I noticed you dropped off a little bit last month. What happened? What can I do to help make sure we get you back on track? I want to make sure you hit your goal. And just shifting the conversation and the actions that we have in place in our onboarding and integration to reflect that we are a results-based gym rather than I'm just kind of going through motions, and making people feel that we care, making people feel that they're seen, and that, you know, we're here to actually help you to your goal, not just sell you a gym membership and then it's kind of like, well, the rest is up to you, right? And I think that making the overall tone and process and offers reflect that in itself can already be a total game changer for most gyms.